good morning to Sunday mornings at the Marxist Library, except that we're not at the Nebo Proctor Marxist Library in Oakland. We haven't been there since the beginning of the pandemic, though we've had a few hybrid meetings in person. Mostly we've been meeting via Zoom. So for those of you on the left coast, good morning. For those of you, I see Richard right here from the Autonomous Oblast of Austin. And so good afternoon. And sometimes we have some people joining us from the other side of the pond. So then that's good evening. We've been doing these programs for about a decade and a half. And the group of us that do it, we call ourselves a little bit pretentiously, but we like the name, the Institute for the Critical Study of Society, the ICSS. My name is Roger Harris, and I'm with the ICSS. I'm also with the Anti-Imperialist Human Rights Group, the Task Force on the Americas. And these Sunday mornings at the Marxist Library, they're designed to be a forum for a diversity of leftist thought. The ICSS itself considers itself a Marxist group. We want to encourage people to celebrate the works of Karl Marx and stuff like that. And we go by the motto that came from Karl Marx's 11th thesis on Feuerbach, where he says, philosophers have only interpreted the world in various ways. The point, however, is to change it. So we see this program as kind of a theoretical forum, but one for activists and for political change. The program committee very much wants to see a robust discussion of various ideas. We work very hard to make this kind of a safe place to exchange ideas in a comradely way. We will have about a 20 to 40-minute presentation. That'll be then we'll have a short break, and then we'll have a question and answer period. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much the housekeeping things. This program will be posted on YouTube on our ICSS Marxist YouTube group, and it's also will be posted on our internet on our website as well. So the topic today is a topic of a country that has been a lot in the news. And one of my pet peeves with journalism is everything's a big crisis. And my own feeling is that kind of crisis, that's a word that we should use a lot less, because a crisis means that things have gotten to a point where they just can't continue the way they are. And so I think for the most part, people use the word crisis to mean just a big problem. But today's program, which is on Haiti, is a place where the use of the word crisis is not hyperbole. It might even be an understatement. And our speaker today is a person who is uniquely qualified to speak about that. Pierre Lavoisier was born in Haiti and emigrated to New York City at the age of 14. While he was in Haiti, he lived under the US-backed dictatorship of Papa Doc. Is that Papa Doc or was it Baby Doc?
No, Papa Doc.
Papa Doc.
Papa, yes.
And then when he got to New York, he became involved in a number of political activities. He went to school and got a BS in agronomy, which is his profession today. And he has since come to the West Coast, and that's where the Task Force on the Americas have worked very closely with his group that he co-founded, which is the Haiti Action Committee, is one of the important anti-imperialist groups fighting US imperialism in this hemisphere. So with that introduction, Pierre, if you could just tell us what's happening in Haiti right now and how we got there.
Yes, certainly. Thank you very much. Let me thank the Institute for inviting me for this kind of invitation and for your solidarity with the people of Haiti. I know you mentioned Task Force on the Americas. It's been there for the longest, I believe, since 91, 92, with us in the struggle for change, for democracy, and accompanying the Haitian people in their struggle for democracy and against dictatorship and against imperialism, very important. So how did we get here? Where we are today? Today, the people of Haiti are facing what in certain circles they call low intensity warfare, but there is nothing low intensity about it. It's all out warfare against the people of Haiti in terms of paramilitary death squads and the Haitian police targeting the Haitian population. Haiti has been, is going through the 18th, going on 19 years of a United Nations occupation. During this occupation, has been follows the coup d'etat of President Aristide. Actually, it started on February 29th, the night that the kidnapping coup d'etat took place against President Aristide. And it was organized with an advance forces from the US, with advance forces from the US, France, and Canada, who carried out the kidnapping of the president. And from that day on to the present, Haiti has been under a US, United States, and United Nations occupation to impose the coup d'etat, to make sure that they repress the population who got out when the coup d'etat took place in full force to demand that President Aristide continue his mandate. He was democratically elected for a period of 5 years. He had only served 3 of those five years. He had a 2-year remaining rule, 2-year remaining in his mandate to continue. And people were very upset. And so in order to repress this movement of the people for the respect of their vote, I know that people will be voting in the US, have been voting and will be voting Tuesday is big election day. And people will freely elect the representative of their choosing. But in Haiti, when you do that, it's like you're signing a death warrant, because you have paramilitary forces, you have the police, you have the occupation that has come and is massacring the population. This is no hyperbole. A lot of massacres have been taking place since the first coup d'etat, since the coup d'etat of February 29, 2004. And many people have been are dying, but true to their beliefs in democracy, in what is right, and against a situation that is really killing our brothers and sisters in Haiti, killing them by starvation, killing them by with bullets, killing them by the destruction of the sanitation infrastructure, killing them by the destruction of the healthcare infrastructure, killing them by the destruction of the local economy. What I mean by that is the destruction of the local production, agricultural production, and other production, local industries in the country. This is really killing our people. And when they take to the streets to demand that their tax money, to demand that the money they pay, because Haitians are heavily taxed. Many people don't know about this, but they are heavily taxed. And that money is stolen. That money doesn't come back to them in the form of education, healthcare, sanitation, clean drinking water, and support for local agriculture, for the agricultural economy, and support for wood construction and what have you. The money goes into the pockets of big officials and their multinational corporations, their multinational allies, and many officials who serve as representatives of their government and who are part of this racket. And so what we are saying is, in order to maintain this system of exploitation and repression, when the people are demanding that it be ended, then what you have is they have to practice, they have to implement a campaign of terror to terrorize the population. And that campaign of terror has resulted in many massacres, not only going back to 2004, 2005, when the occupation had started. You had many attacks against communities of Cité Soleil, communities like Bel Air, other communities where the working class neighborhoods of Port-au-Prince and other areas throughout the country had risen up because they felt that that occupation, that coup d'etat was a multinational in line with the Haitian oligarchy to overthrow a people's government that had been implementing a people's agenda. And the agenda is investir dans l'humain, investing in people. This is the program that Famille Lavalas had campaigned on during the electoral campaign of 2000. It was a program to take the resources of the country, the tax money of the citizenry, to take the tax money of various businesses that operate in Haiti, to take the monies that were coming in from the telephone company and other state-owned enterprises, to invest them in building schools, building roads, investing in agriculture, road construction, and a system that would improve the livelihood of the people. And during the presidency of Jean-Bertrand Aristide, during the Famille Lavalas government, a lot of that was happening. It wasn't, we were not yet in Shangri-La. We did not yet achieve where we wanted to be, but it was very clear that Haiti was on its way of the development, a people-based development. And so that's what happened with the coup. And since then, what we've had is a complete dismantling of all the democratic structures. And what I mean by democratic, I don't mean just the ability to vote, which is very important, but I mean the whole practice of democracy, meaning ruling by the people, by the majority, where people have a say in how the resources of their community, how the resources are underground, because Haiti has a lot, Haiti has oil, Haiti has gold, Haiti has uranium, iridium, bauxite, marble. All of those are being exploited from illegally since the coup, and Haiti is not benefiting from 1 cent of that. Prior to that, under various dictatorships, many of those resources were also being exploited, but the monies were going in the pockets of the dictators and their cronies and the multinational corporations that were taking advantage of this. Also, we can cite the fact that their impact on the labor movement in Haiti has been devastating. Haiti has labor laws that provide for, just like labor laws in many countries, that provide for conditions, working conditions, safe working conditions, basic minimum wage, livable wage. The Lavalas government of President Aristide had put that in motion and was implementing those rules, so that those regulations, so that workers were actually, the minimum wage had been doubled. Even then it was still low, but still we were on our way to improving. The country was on its way to improving the lives of the workers. And so since the coup, what we've had is workers have been squeezed, the working conditions haven't been implemented, environmental conditions at work have not been addressed. And so what we've had is a situation that's impacting the health of the people, their livelihood, and what have you. You look at the school system as well. Also on the labor front, let me finish by saying, and every time the workers are organizing to demand an increase in the minimum wage, to demand that their working conditions be improved, they unleash against them the police, they unleash against them paramilitary death squads, in order to make the people quiet and be scared of standing up because they are eliminating them. So this is the situation that Haitians are living under. All of this, what it has done, it has created, it has fueled the hellish conditions that Haitians are experiencing today. Many people wonder why so many refugees. Well, these are the reasons why. Before the coup d'etat of February 29, 2004, Haitians were actually, during the Lavalas government of President Aristide, Haitians were actually going back to Haiti and investing. Those who had left before were returning, investing in small businesses in their various hometowns. People were doing things to better their conditions, building schools, investing in agriculture, doing things. But since that coup, conditions have gotten worse and worse and worse. And under the UN occupation, things have worsened to the point where now we are seeing Haitians just fleeing massively and ending up on the border today of the US and Mexico, and in other countries such as the Dominican Republic, various countries in the Caribbean, and what have you, and other places throughout the world. So this is the situation. Inside Haiti, things are horrible. It's horrible in terms of the complete destruction of all the infrastructures of democracy. What I'm talking about are the various ministries. A ministry of a government is supposed to be addressing issues that have to do with the welfare, the well-being of the population. So the Ministry of Health, when President Aristide was there, he had invested a lot in building hospitals, building clinics, building, and in the areas, the rural areas that had been neglected, historically neglected, even though the wealth of the country was coming from them. The taxes were in majority coming from the peasant farmers, the peasant farming communities, but they never got anything back in return in terms of schools for their children and hospitals and everything else. So what President Aristide's government was doing was investing in the well-being of these rural communities, putting those monies into those communities. So all of that was destroyed. For the students, school system, lunch in the school system, the government was, the Lavalas government was investing heavily in a literacy program for adults and young people alike, and subsidizing the schools, the school fees, and public transportation to and from school was free, entirely free, provided by the government. Since the coup d'etat, all of these programs have been eliminated. So what we are seeing, many people have this beautiful idea of the United Nations. And some have told me, well, there are many agencies of the UN and what have you. What we are seeing, what we in Haiti, the Haitian people, have been experiencing has been the tentacles of imperialism crushing, using the UN apparatus, using the NGOs, particularly USAID, to crush the people of Haiti and maintain this system, this status quo that is exploiting and repressing the people of Haiti. And this is what's happening. This is what needs to be addressed. Now, to go back to the history a little bit, I call this the American century on Haiti, because behind the UN policies, United Nations implementation, the United States, United Nations occupation of Haiti is there to implement policies that were designed, that are from the US and also from the various international agencies, such as the IMF and the World Bank, what they call the neoliberal policies. So let me take it during this American century, what we have seen. I call it the American century in regards to Haiti, because in 1915 was the first US occupation of Haiti. And since that occupation, what happened at the time, there was a massive popular movement that had a reason to demand that there be change in the country, because a number of companies from the US and other places were actually kicking peasants, Haitian, in collaboration with a pro-US business president, Vilbon Guillaume Sam, had been kicking out peasants from their lands and giving them to big companies, foreign companies, to impose a new plantation system where the peasants were losing their land, they were not able to make a living, and people rebelled, and they kicked out that government. And at the time, there was a man named Rosalvo Bobo who had a very different view. He felt that, very nationalist view, felt that this shouldn't be happening, that the lands of Haiti should be used by the people of Haiti, for the people of Haiti. But the US refused to allow him, blocked him from taking office, and instead imposed a man by the name of Sud d'Artignave, one of their lackeys, to the presidency of Haiti. And since that time, we are talking 1915, and when many parliamentarians refused to ratify this, they were summarily kicked out of parliament. And the person who actually drew the Constitution of Haiti was put aside, was eradicated, eliminated. And I know Franklin Delano Roosevelt was a big champion for the American people, domestically. Actually, internationally, he's the one who wrote that constitution that was used in 1915 and imposed on the people of Haiti. And since then, we've had nothing but a series of dictators, some more ruthless than others. And but the most ruthless of all was Dr. Francois Duvalier, known as Papa Doc, and later on his son, Baby Doc Duvalier. Following in that line, we've had others who are actually on a par with, in terms of ruthlessness, with him. For example, the present fellow, who's also a medical doctor, Ariel Henry, who has also been imposed by the current US-UN occupation on the Haitian people, in terms of the level of massacres, in terms of the level of the disintegration of the country, the disintegration of the many infrastructures for democracy, again, which I define as people's participation in their daily affairs and how they are going to invest in their needs, how the money should be invested. So that's what we've been having to the present. The brief interlude with democracy that we've had was in 1986, when finally the people's movement was able to overthrow Baby Doc Duvalier, the son of Papa Doc. Papa Doc himself had ruled from 1957 until 1971, till his death. And his son, and let me say Papa Doc, was imposed by the US in fraudulent elections on the Haitian people. And his son was he just designated his son as president for life as well, to rule over Haiti. And people know the stories of Papa Doc. He created a militia called the Tonton Macoutes. Their official name was Volunteers for National Security, but they were known as Tonton Macoutes in everyday language, and many of them were very proud of that name too. And so this was a ruthless, and this was along the side of the Haitian military, which was repressing the people, but this was in addition to the military. So we had two organized corps, one a militia officially recognized by the government of Duvalier, the other one, the military that had been created by the US in 1915 and repressing the majority population. So 1986 people rebelled against that. The Tonton Macoutes went into what is called, they shed their uniforms and they became part of the attachés, meaning they were attached to the military, but without an official status or without an official designation, but people knew them as being attached to the military. And they were carrying a campaign of terror against the democracy movement. And we lost many militants, many activists, many community organizers, people who were organizing for literacy, a program of literacy, were being disappeared and killed. People were advocating for the vote. Every one person, one vote were also being disappeared by the Haitian military at the time and the attachés. And so this campaign of terror continued until finally people were able to come together and really elect the parish priest, Father Jean-Bertrand Aristide, to elect him as president of the country. With Aristide, there was a big hope that things would be better. And he spent 7 months of that presidency and started making real the changes that he had said, that he had pledged to the Haitian people he would be making. And things were moving along very well. 7 months later, Bush, the father, whom Haitians refer to as Papa Bush, he organized a coup along with the Haitian military. He didn't recognize the coup officially, but everybody knew the Haitian military is trained, financed, equipped by the US. They wouldn't dare do something like that, especially against a very popular president who had been freshly elected without the blessings from the US. And so 3 years of activism, 3 years of the people of Haiti resisting the coup and uniting with international solidarity, a strong movement. That's where I encountered Task Force on the Americas, and they came, and so many other organizations outside of Haiti came from different countries. And after a 3-year struggle, the people of Haiti were able to make sure that President Aristide returned and democracy was restored. And actually, he returned for a brief period, about 14 months or 15 months remaining in his term. But this was also during an occupation, which every day was a struggle to make sure that the solutions that the Haitian people had been proposing would be respected, and it was a Haitian-based solution. But he had to fight against this big, monstrous occupation that was impeding every move that the Haitian people, that the elected government now back in Haiti was trying to do to implement the people's will. And so there was a peaceful transition of power to President Préval, who was elected at the time, and his term of office ended by 2000. And during the elections of 2000, people in Haiti re-elected President Aristide. But I have to say this: President Aristide didn't really put himself out there to campaign. People drafted him to run for office. The movement drafted him, the grassroots movement drafted him to run for office, because he had shown, contrary to the traditional politicians of Haiti, that when he made the promise to implement the people's-based agenda that the people themselves had put forth, that he didn't betray them or stab them in the back, that he implemented this agenda. And so people were not disappointed during his first time in office, even though 3 years of that time was stolen from him. He was not able to reclaim the 3 years he had spent in exile. So people voted for him, and the popular songs were like, "We are bringing you back to continue the mandate and to continue implementing our program." And so, and he did. During 3 years, that's what was being implemented. At that time, Haiti faced various embargoes. There was an embargo, Senator Jesse Helms. For many of you who are old enough to remember Senator Jesse Helms, he was the one who carried out this whole campaign to sabotage Haiti economically. And you had a massive campaign by the leading corporate media against the work of President Aristide and the Famille Lavalas government to implement the people's agenda. And during that time, the resources of the country were being, as I mentioned earlier, were being invested in the people, in the needs of the people. Schools were being built in rural areas that never had schools before. And I mentioned the literacy program, which was big. There was also making sure that students would go to various universities. People were getting subsidies. So I'd mentioned all of that earlier. So that was the program, and support for our farmers, support for our farming population, to increase local production of food and to make sure that people would have access to lower quality. One of the most important things was the establishment of a subsidy on gasoline, because the price of gasoline is what in Haiti they call it transcends everything else. So when you have high prices of gasoline, the cost of living automatically goes sky high. And President Aristide ensured that by law that there was a subsidy on gasoline, so as to maintain control over the increased pricing that many who were in the import-export business were banking on in order to make untold riches on the backs of the people. Very important to mention, a number of businesses, both Haitian and foreign-owned, many of those maquiladoras who were fleeing the US and other countries to avoid paying high wages, the wages, minimum wages abroad, were coming to Haiti, had come to Haiti, both on the Papa Doc and Baby Doc, mostly on the Baby Doc, and continuing to take advantage of this campaign, of this reign of terror by the Tonton Macoutes and the Duvalierist mindset, the Duvalierist program to make Haiti, Haitian labor as low cost as possible. So President Aristide, by increasing the minimum wage, the many US businesses, foreign businesses, and the Haitian oligarchy fought him tooth and nail, and that was a big fight that he waged and won for the most part. And so what happened was a whole sabotage was created to sabotage him on that basis, on the basis of for his policies regarding the economy. And what you had is all of that fueled this whole campaign in the media against him. And sadly, you had a number of leftist or progressive media that were also following the line of the State Department and attacking President Aristide as if he was anti-labor and this and that, a number of things like that. So those attacks were very, very steady, but it was found out by several journalists that the National Endowment for Democracy was investing heavily in promoting this type of attacks. So what we had was a whole campaign to disinform, to present this people's government as being, as if it was an enemy of the Haitian people. And that's what was used at the time to support the coup d'etat of 2004. At that time, the US media and various other media in France and Canada had said that Haiti will be a land of milk and honey after President Aristide was removed from office by the US, France, and Canada. But then, as we see today, Haiti has become a hellish place from which its own sons and daughters are fleeing and dying on the high seas if they don't die in Panama, in the Darien Passage, and on the borders and what have you. So, and they are dying in Haiti as well, the victims of paramilitary death squads. So that is the situation, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention the strong, strong, strong resistance that's taking place on the ground. People are refusing to be coward. People are refusing in the face of all of these killings and massacres of the people of Haiti. People are standing strong. They are in the streets demonstrating. The police recently, last weekend, they killed another journalist. He was arrested because he was covering a demonstration. They started roughing him up, and his fellow journalists went to the police station accompanied by people in the community. And so the police opened fire on them right there, according to various witnesses, right there in the yard of the police station. And one journalist was shot in the head and killed. Prior to that, in the city of Les Cayes, which has been very, very active, from June to, I would say from June to mid-October or the end of October, close to 27 people have been killed by the Haitian police and the paramilitary death squads that are working with the police against the population. One journalist was abducted. His name is Gary Tess. He was abducted, and people found him later beaten to death horribly, with horrible marks of torture on his body. And he had been dumped somewhere, but his body was washed out to sea, but the sea brought him back, and the population, his wife and everyone went to claim the body, which the police were trying to prevent them from taking the body. And so they had to, but they successfully retrieved his body so they could give him a proper funeral. And this is what's happening. One more thing is about the prison conditions. Keep in mind that this is happening under United Nations, United States occupation. They are financing this dictatorship of Ariel Henry, and they are supporting, they imposed him, they are supporting him. And so the prison conditions in Haiti are horrific. Prisoners are dying of starvation. They are dying from lack of health care. They have been dying from all of that. The United Nations is present in Haiti. They haven't done a thing to improve the livelihoods of the people. And it's been ongoing from the time of February 29, 2004 to the present. These are not things that are reported in the corporate media. And very few in the left media report it, except these days, recently, we've seen more coverage of that. But they have been going on. The resistance has been going on steadfastly in Haiti, never stopped from the first day of the coup d'etat of February 29, 2004. So have the massacres. And they have not been reported. And so now we are glad that there are reports, and we can do we in the Haiti Action Committee, and thankfully the Task Force on the Americas are helping us, and other groups, organizations are helping us to put out the story from the Haitian grassroots movement, from the people of Haiti, about the atrocities being committed, but also what the people of Haiti want. What do we want? What do people on the ground want? They want to live as human beings, just like everyone else. They want their tax money to be invested in programs, in programs that will benefit them, that will improve their well-being, people are paying taxes. For example, I myself, if I send money to a friend in Haiti or to someone, not only am I charged a tax, but there is an extra tax of $1.50 per transaction. And there are tons of transactions taking place on a daily basis to Haiti. And so that $1.50 money has amounted since 2011 to, I would say, close to billions of dollars, millions, close to billions, according to some people, because the figures aren't out there. There is a lack of transparency. And this money, instead of being invested in the school system, it is not. Teachers are not being paid. Students have been on strike, or periodically going on strike in various schools because basic things like chalk or supplies or what have you, even the toilet facilities are lacking, you see. So where is all this money going? Next thing you hear is this minister is buying a mansion in Canada. That minister is buying fancy houses in wherever, in foreign countries. They're investing heavily in the Dominican Republic or in the US or in France. So the resources of the people of Haiti are being stolen and not providing the people with what they need. And I want to mention, many times people are saying, well, like Haiti is a problem, it's a basket case, the Haitians cannot take care of themselves. This program called Investir dans l'Humain, this is the platform, it's in book form, of Famille Lavalas. It was published in 1999. It was the platform that Famille Lavalas campaigned on. When I was in Haiti with a delegation back in 2000, and we were in a community far, far to the south, I would say at the tip of the Southern Peninsula. And we were in a community of rural area, and we were meeting with some of the peasant organizations there. So one of our members, Robert Wolf, asked me to ask in Creole, one of the peasant leaders, say, do you know about this book or this program, Investir dans l'Humain? He said, know about it. We helped write it. And we were very surprised, because this is a place where not only you have to put the car somewhere and then you have to walk in order to get there. That's how far away it was. And the person we knew didn't know how to read and write. So we were puzzled. They said, yes, this came from us, all of those ideas. They came from all the base communities throughout the country. We gave our thoughts, and that's what was compiled and put into this program, into this book called Investir dans l'Humain. And we discussed some of the various aspects of those with them. And they were very sharp about it. They explained exactly what it was. So when election time came out, was there during the elections, people knew they were voting for a program. Though they love President Aristide as a man because of his strong stand, because he's never betrayed them, and he's always, but they were voting a program that they saw implemented, and that's what you're seeing today. The people are rallied, about a program to better their lives, a program to get Haiti out of this morass, a program to make Haiti a livable place for all its daughters and its sons. And so that's what's fueling the movement on the ground today. So I wanted to stop right there. I may have gone over time, but I want to say that we want you all to be in solidarity with us, with the people of Haiti. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Pierre, and it was an excellent presentation. Though the subject is so vast, we just touched the surface. So I'm very much looking for the Q&A to get even deeper into this issue. But before we do that, we want to do a few announcements for the Sunday morning at the Marxist Library. We do have a expenses, and Richard, if you could put in the a link to, if people want to donate to the library, to the ICSS, to cover our expenses, that would be appreciated. And Jean, if you could tell us a little bit about some of the upcoming programs.
Okay, should I go first? I don't see Richard.
Yeah, I think if Richard just put something, a link in the chat, that would be sufficient on the funding.
Okay, well, I just want to say that you know, our programs are, we do send out a weekly email reminder, which if you want to receive those, you can sign up for them on our website, icssmarx.org. But we do have, and thank you so much, Pierre. This was really, you know, there's so much bad news we get about what's going on in and about Haiti. It's good to see the resistance going there, and it's good to see the perspective you bring. So it's really valuable for us, and that's what we're about as a group, to try to bring the revolutionary side of the news and what's happening in the world. So we're going to continue that next week. I think Raj is not here really with us, but he's given a talk on the challenge of Alexander Dugin, the fourth political theory. And some of you was in the news when his daughter was assassinated recently. And there's this very interesting theory, which Raj has taken the initiative to learn, and he will tell us more about this.
Gene, I'm here actually.
You're there.
Yes, I'm here for.
You want to say a word or two?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, Alexander Dugin's fourth political theory is he introduces as is needed because of both communism and fascism have failed as an opposition to liberalism, and liberalism has transformed itself into post-liberalism and has become totalitarian. So opposition to it will have to come from another theory. And so I'll be talking about that. I think it's an interesting concept and challenges to the Marxists, because they're saying, you guys now are not coming back. So it's an interesting idea. He's a great, he's a learned scholar, not from our side, but anyway, we will have all that for you next week. Hopefully, very interesting discussion.
Okay, I'm personally looking forward to that, because I've really will appreciate a Marxist analysis of that, which you certainly bring to us. Following that, we have our Midwestern Marxist back, Carlos Guerrero, talking about the comprehensive crisis in the U.S. and the revolutionary way forward. We'll break for Thanksgiving Day. We are scheduled to have somebody speak on communism and anti-communism on December 4th. We'll talk about on December 11th, Iran's role in the anti-imperialist struggle. And on the 18th, the elections in Brazil. And we're still looking for a speaker on that. So we have some good programs. We try to look at what, we try to balance some discussions of theory with the application of that theory to ongoing struggles. So again, you can sign up for our email reminders and see our schedule on icssmarks.org. So
Well, thank you, Gene.
Roger.
Sure. Thank you, Gene. And in introducing Pierre, we neglected to mention that another activity that he's very much involved in is the Haiti Emergency Relief Fund, which sends money to Haiti, directly to Haiti. To contact the fund, and we have that information in the chat. But Pierre, maybe you can say a word or two about HERF.
Yes, HERF was founded. We had been doing a lot of support for local schools in rural areas to help local agriculture in various areas of Haiti. And so when the coup took place, that activity, we pledged that we were going to continue with that and also help people who are in need, but it's really to address the economic needs of the population. So at that time, it was known under a different name, but right after the coup, we called it the Haiti Emergency Relief Fund. We merged some of the prior activities with it and Haiti Emergency Relief Fund. And what we do is continuing to support our brothers and sisters in Haiti, local initiatives. For example, we support, if there is an area where the peasants need an irrigation pump, where they may various needs or storage, grain storage facilities, we try to support that. So it's based on their own needs as they express them to us. And we are not over their shoulder, thou shall do this, thou shall do that. They are grown people, they are adults, they determine what they want. Also, we have been very supportive of UNIFA, the University of the Aristide Foundation for Democracy. When President Aristide and his wife, First Lady Mildred Aristide, they came back from exile, they were determined to rebuild the University of the Aristide Foundation. Can you imagine this? A place in Haiti. Haiti is a place where there are very few doctors, where very few nurses, and the population is in need of medical care at different branches of medical care and medical technicians. And so this university was built to help provide for this lack of medical professionals. And so when the coup d'etat took place, the first thing the Marines did was to shut down the school and kick out the students and turn it into barracks. And the United Nations troops came in later on in June, and they used it for their barracks. And some people also said as a place where they would hold people as a temporary jail or prison. And so when President Aristide came back, he was determined to rebuild it. And we said, we'll add our 2 cents to it. And with the help of people from the Bay Area, people who do contribute various places, the school was rebuilt. I believe Marilyn, who's there, she was present when it first reopened in September 2011. And the reason why I'm going into those details is to show the determination when Haitian Solutions, by true Haitian patriots, people who want to do good in Haiti, who have the political will to do it, with very little money, miracles can happen. And so the school President Aristide came back from exile in March 2011. He pledged to rebuild the school. Even the wires had been stripped off the walls. Everything was stolen. So that was rebuilt by September. The school started operating. The first 122 students came in, half men, half women. And now the school is thriving with over 4,000, with a student body of 4,000 young men and young women who have a space to be thinking and to provide solutions to the problems of Haiti. In the school, there is a school of architecture, engineering, law, medical school, nursing school, and a school of physical therapy, because as a result of the various earthquakes, the 2 earthquakes and other hurricanes and what have you, people are in need of physical therapists. These are the kinds of projects that the Haiti Emergency Relief Fund supports. And we are supporting the building of teaching hospitals so that the doctors and nurses who are trained, they can have a place to practice, to do their residency, And also this hospital will be providing much needed medical assistance to the community, to the impoverished communities in Haiti.
Okay, thank you. So we'll begin the question and answer. And as usual, our question and answer format is to have people either make a statement or ask a question, or most likely both. But if you could limit your statements and questions to about 2 minutes, and then we'll have our guest respond to them. So I see Janet's hand up. So Janet, why don't you unmute yourself, and you can be the first question, followed by Richard Wright.
Okay, thank you so much, Pierre, for your informative and insightful presentation and for all the work you do for the people of Haiti. Would you talk about the positions of various international alliances when it comes to Haiti? I'm talking about the OAS, CARICOM, for example. And also, could you talk about where Russia stands vis-a-vis Haiti?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. The OAS has been a very bad source of the problems of Haiti. So the OAS, the United Nations, these agencies have been terrible in terms of what they are doing to the people of Haiti. And actually they have organized themselves into what they call themselves the core group. Before they used to call themselves Friends of Haiti. And after people have said with friends like that, you don't need enemies, then now they have renamed themselves the core group. And to manage the daily business of the occupation, the core group is a consortium of about 9 entities. The governments of France, the US, Canada, Spain, England, and you have Brazil is also involved in this. Then you have the OAS, the Organization of American States, the OAS, the United Nations, the UN, and the European Union. 9 of those, they form what is called the core group, and they manage the daily affairs of Haiti. So when you hear people are talking in the corporate media and some of the leftist media about Ariel Henry as if Haiti has no occupation, that he is the man, this is a subterfuge, you see? They are masking their war by putting forth a Haitian face. But Ariel Henry takes his marching orders from the core group that's running Haiti. Haitians on the ground are not fooled by it. We know what it is. So that's their war. And Russia has, throughout the 18 years of the occupation, both Russia and China have signed on to the renewing of the mandate by MINUSTAH. That was the first group known as MINUSTAH, the first name they had for that mission. And they have always signed on to it. And it's recently, this year, this past October, and they had renewed the mandate. This past October that they did renew the mandate, but then they started raising some concern, which is welcome, better late than never. But at this point, more needs to be done on their part. We need true friends and allies, not just because, circumstantially you happen to be in disagreement with the US, then, no. The principles that they were voting for to renew the MINUSTAH mandate, even though this was presented to them, the atrocities of the UN, nobody was there. The Haitians were left to fight on their own for themselves, which was terrible, against an international coalition of robbers and thieves and murderers.
Okay, thank you. And then Richard, please.
For a nice presentation on Haiti. First off, I was glad to hear that you briefly alluded to George Bush the Smarter and his role. Something I think really deserves more attention is George Herbert Walker, number 41, is that one? And his role in post-Vietnam U.S. foreign policy developments. He's been very influential, and very little attention has been paid to him. I guess one thing, my reaction is that this is a story I've heard for most of 40 or 50 years now. Not just in Haiti, but and elsewhere. I mean, really the heart of what you're getting at is the problem. We've seen the enemy, and he is us. To quote Pogo. And in that respect, I'm kind of wondering if you could address the HURC, the Human Rights, Human Haiti Action Committee. And I've been seeing some criticisms of these committees, these peace and justice committees, vis-a-vis congressional actions, how they are reaching out to the population. In particular, I've seen some stuff by Code Pink, Medea Benjamin, aghast that how she's getting no reception whatsoever at Congress. And I'm wondering if maybe these action committees, have maybe reached they need to reevaluate how they do business. Could you address a little bit of that, if you would, please? Thank you.
Yes, our work is based on people-to-people solidarity. So we work with grassroots organizations in Haiti and grassroots organizations in the US. And that's why we in the Haiti Action Committee and also the Haiti Emergency Relief Fund, we don't call ourselves NGOs, because that term NGO is very pejorative in Haiti, because for the history that the NGOs have had, the negative history in terms of blocking the people's movement and selling out and working with the people who are crushing the Haitian people. So we do direct solidarity, people to people, put people like yourselves, individuals in contact with the movement in Haiti, and that's how we operate. So do we have some friends in Congress? Yes, we do. But unless one thing I've always personally, and as a labor person, as a labor activist, I was a member of the ILWU for a number of years, and I still see myself as a labor person. When the people lead, the leaders follow. So it has to be grassroots based. It has to be when people are aware of things that the grassroots pressure will force changes to the political, to politics. And basically that's where personally I'm coming from. So, I don't base it, and the people of Haiti haven't based, they are wise enough not to base their success on any promises they welcome allies, definitely good allies, but they're also very smart and savvy to know when people are just mouthing off and don't mean what they are saying.
Okay,
I don't know
thank
if
you.
I answered your question.
I think so. Answered
Okay.
well. Thank you. Next up is Laura, followed by Trajan.
Hi, thank you so much for being here and telling us about Haiti. And I have a question a little bit different from the usual question, but are you familiar with Isabel Allende's Island Beneath the Sea? And I wondered if you are, if you know how well it represents the history. I think it was the late 1700s and the early 1800s in Haiti, about the time of Toulouse-Lautrec or Louverture. Yeah.
Right.
And also, was there a film that was about, I'm sorry if I don't say the name right, Louverture Toussaint?
Yes.
And I would look forward to Danny Glover's. I would really hope that he would be able to do that. But so those are my questions.
Yes. No, unfortunately, I haven't read the book, so I'm glad you mentioned it. I would be very happy to read it. So I haven't read it. But let me say this, that Toussaint Louverture, he had been enslaved, he had been a slave. And when the massive uprising took place in 1791, he was present. He was a man very popular in his community. And through the process of organizing, the person who had led it were two people. One was Boukman Doty, and the other person was Cécile Fatima. In Haitian history book, when I was studying, they minimized the role of the women leaders. And that's something that that under President Aristide, and he wanted to correct that situation also, because his presidency was a product of the people's movement. And that was one of the key things that the women were saying, that the women need to be highlighted. So, and Toussaint was kidnapped after a successful, brilliant campaign, not only against the French. At first, there was the rebellion against the French. Secondly, the British and the Spanish wanted to take advantage of that to take over the colony, because the colony at the time, Saint-Domingue, which now is Haiti, was a gigantic industrial, agricultural, industrial factory, if I may call it that, that was making untold riches for France. And so they all wanted to take it, but by promising falsely freedom to the Blacks, the Africans, who, if they had joined them, then and helped them take over the colony, they would be freed. And so Toussaint, when he saw that the Spanish were lying, then he turned his guns against them. And in the wake of the French Revolution, which had signed the abolition of slavery, this was real tangible stuff, and they had declared it. So Toussaint said, the French are more serious about this, let me join them. And all the places that he had put under Spanish domination, he went back and reconquered them in the name of the French, of the revolutionary French Republic. It's very important to see the context in France at the time. There was the revolution. So by the time Napoleon came into power, Napoleon had done a coup d'etat against the revolutionary government in France. And so he was reimposing the old order, the old aristocratic order. And that's how he declared the restoration of slavery. And his expedition to Haiti at the time, to Saint-Domingue, was to restore slavery, and Toussaint fought against him. And they signed a peace treaty. Toussaint was kidnapped. And later on, all of that, when the word came that Napoleon had restored slavery in the islands of Martinique and Guadeloupe, the Guadeloupean and Martinican sisters and brothers spread the word to Haiti. And so the Blacks didn't fall for the lie anymore. And they rebelled the second time and then kicked out the French and declared Haiti an independent nation in 1804. So just to continue a little bit on that, following that, you had the US under Thomas Jefferson stating that they would never recognize the independence of Haiti, and joining France in imposing a debt on Haiti, a ransom, that in order for Haiti not to be attacked again by the French, the British and Spanish, all those colonial slave owning, I hate to use that term, but enslaver nations, that Haiti would be destroyed because this example could not be allowed to continue. And so Haiti was forced to pay this money. The New York Times has an article, a series of articles called The Ransom. And one of the reasons for the coup against President Aristide was that President Aristide demanded in 2003 that the French repay this money that they had extorted from Haiti. Haiti had to pay the French the equivalent of $21.7 billion in 2003 equivalent sum of money. Haiti had to pay that money over a period of about from 1825 until 1947. Some people say until later, but until 1947. So monies that should have been used to rebuild the Haitian nation after those 13 years of warfare, those monies were going to the French, the former French enslavers. So that's a long story to your very quick question. Sorry about that, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
It's a story that certainly needs to be told, so thank you.
Yeah.
Trajan, you're next.
Yeah, my question is, today, does France assist Haiti with financial support or investment, since they're responsible for many of the problems the Haitians are going through from the history of the beginning? That would be my question.
No, they are not. And they may point, well, they feed these kids here, they feed those kids there, but Haitians can feed their own selves. They are supposed that foreign aid, it's really an investment in stealing the resources of the country. It's really an investment in maintaining the status quo that they are, but they along with the US, Canada, they have quite a PR system, which is also the corporate media, where they present the people of Haiti as helpless. Listen, I grew up in Haiti, my hometown of Lekai. When I was growing up in the 60s, we were exporting sugar. We're exporting tons of stuff like cocoa, coffee, and what have you. And there was a thriving local industry where my own clothing were made by local Haitian folks, where my shoes were leather shoes made locally by Haitian shoemakers. You know, now none of that exists. None of that exists. And so it's been a systematic investment in the destruction of local production of Haiti. I was a kid, I used to go out there and play soccer, street soccer, you know, like children everywhere, right? And I would go next to a friend's house or any place, open the faucet, cup my hands and drink from it and not get sick. Now, nobody can do that in Haiti. Water is hardly delivered at all. The water system has been completely privatized. So it's a squeezing of the Haitian population for every penny in whatever way that they can use to exploit this population. And that's why people are rebelling today in Haiti against this entire system that's been imposed upon against us.
Jean is next, but before that, Pierre, maybe you could tell us just a little bit about the Haitian pigs and the Haitian rice and what happened to them.
Yes, that was a USAID program, which was the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and those brilliant institutions have imposed on Haiti a system that was aimed to destroy the production capacity of Haiti. And what we are seeing now, and it started under Papa Doc Duvalier and has continued to the present. So since '57, there was a steady implementation of those policies, even though they may not have been called neoliberal policies in those days, but what they were doing was actually the same thing, what we call neoliberal, imposition of neoliberal policies. So the Creole pigs in 1982, USAID came up with this brilliant idea that there was a sickness of pigs going on, though the sickness had not taken place in Haiti. But they said in order to avoid the sickness from taking hold of Haiti, taking a foothold in Haiti, they had to destroy the local pig population. Now, the local pig population is livestock, and I use the word livestock, meaning it was known as the bank of the poor. The people of Haiti in most of the rural areas, mostly throughout Haiti, haven't had access to banking. So what you do is you invest in livestock, in animals. So people and their pigs, the local pigs was very suitable to the local agriculture, to the local economy and environmentally and everything. So people didn't invest. All you do is let the pig be in nature and they would grow fat and what have you. And then when there were emergencies, since they had no banking system, you went and sold it to the market to get the cash to send your children to school, to pay for a wedding, a funeral, healthcare, what have you. And so USAID said, well, they had to destroy the pigs to prevent the sickness from taking place in Haiti. Against the advice of local Haitian veterinarians and experts, they carried out a systematic destruction of the Creole pig population. In less than 18 months, all the local pigs were wiped out, save for a couple here and there that people were wise enough to hide. But this was carried out using the Haitian military and the Tonton Macoutes. And so that's what was happening. And later on, they promised that they would replace them with pigs from the US or fancy pigs, and people quickly dubbed them the four-legged princesses because they lived better. They had to have better food than even the peasant could afford for themselves and their families. You know, so, and they had to be regularly vaccinated, some that the peasant couldn't afford. And so only very few people received them, and they were the ones who now started accumulating this. So it was a transfer of wealth from the many to a select few. And so that was it. And rice, same thing. Haiti used to import probably, I forgot exactly, maybe 6,000 metric tons of rice per year from outside, because Haiti was self-sufficient in local rice production. The rice that came in was people who may have a desire to eat a certain kind of rice as opposed to the need for it. So USAID implemented a program where they started dumping rice all over Haiti, supposedly as free food to help the poor Haitians and what have you. Haitian rice growers carried out a number of resistance activities against this. And also people like Haitian experts said, no, this is wrong, but they still carried it out. Right now, Haiti no longer produces very few little rice production in Haiti. And so by I believe 1986, Haiti was importing only 6,000 metric tons. So by 1996, Haiti was importing 186,000 metric tons of rice. The rice production was, but it's still, people are struggling, people are still making the rice, trying to keep, but and these are the things that the Lavalas government wanted to change and reverse and put back, invest in local production. Because we have areas in Haiti that are very fertile, and also people who are skilled in producing rice, producing different things. You know, our people, I grew up on local production of local commodities. Things I wore and used were made by Haitian technology. And so, you know, they destroyed a lot, all of that to make Haiti a consuming nation. And with the Haitian diaspora, you're not going to let your family, your friends die of starvation. So you pump money into the country, and this money is being siphoned off by those companies instead of being invested and used by the local producing farmers, the locally producing farmers, in order to build their wealth and their capacities for production.
Thank you. It shows you how imperialism produces under production and deep in impoverishes countries. Jean, you're next, followed by Yosef.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks so much. And it's really hard for me to really get my head around this, to see that this is really, I mean, what's going on there? It's just so bizarre, really, that it's really kind of unbelievable, although we know it is true. So, I really want to thank you for giving us all this perspective here. And I mentioned the book Hegel and Haiti earlier, but this is a book that looks at the impact that the Haitian Revolution had basically on Hegel and through Hegel on Marx. And one of the things that I've always noted is that, the Marxist left, which is largely European, looks at the Paris Commune as the first working class revolution in history. And they don't really mention the Haitian Revolution, which again, the Haitians were, in a sense, workers in that they were producing for a global economy, for export, for the capitalist system. So, we need to kind of, I guess, decolonize our own thinking a lot on this. But and one of the pictures that was in there, so this picture of I think Candide going through this exploration of the world and stopping in Haiti and seeing this black man lying there with a hook on his arm instead of a hand and a peg instead of a leg. And looked at him, and the guy was saying, if you try to escape, they cut off your leg. If you get your hand caught in a sugar mill, they cut off your hand. And he made the comment that it is at this price that you eat sugar in Europe. And that's kind of a lesson, I think, that, the ways what's going on there, it's just mind boggling. But I wanted to thank you primarily. And if you, any more comments, and again, on the United Nations, I think we think the United Nations is sort of a benign institution, but remember the Korean War, this war of aggression the United States had, that was sponsored by the United Nations. It was the United Nations that I think is still at war. They never signed a peace agreement. And then so it's just kind of like almost par for the game. But anyway, I just want to make those comments and see if what your further comments on that. And again, thank you so much for your discussion. It's really, really crucial.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you mentioned that. And also the UN, we cannot forget the Congo and the role that they played in arresting Lumumba and turning him over to the forces of Maurice Tshombe, who eventually killed Patrice, the great Prime Minister, Patrice Lumumba. Wanted to say on your comment, there is a lot in Haitian literature about the atrocities of the colonists, of the enslavers. Baron de Vathey, that's in French, he published back in 1812 or 1820, a book about naming the various colonists, the plantation owners, and the atrocities that they had committed. I wasn't aware of that book before and only read it about 2 months ago. It's a small book, but very powerful, where he makes the case against talking precisely what you're saying, naming the atrocities that they conducted, who carried them out, and describing what they had done. So I wish at some point maybe that book could be translated. I think I read it in French. I don't think there's a translation, but I think it needs to be circulated as part of the ransom that France forced Haiti to pay to these monsters who had destroyed the country. And so that's a big part. In terms of the place of the Haitian Revolution and how it's been marginalized, you couldn't be more correct. And I want to pay tribute to David Welsh, our dear friend Dave Welsh, who, as a delegate from the San Francisco Labor Council in 2004, to mark the 2003 actually, to mark the bicentennial of the Haitian Revolution, he initiated a resolution at the San Francisco Labor Council, putting the council on record, and the council voted unanimously for it, that recognizing and praising the Haitian Revolution as a victory of the laboring classes, of the working class, against the forces that had against the what you call the big boss, the boss, the way you put it so beautifully. And it was beautiful. And we did a show on that. I was in Haiti. David was here at the studios of KPFA, and we did a program on this. But it was met with skepticism by a number of people. But enough people saw that were clear-headed enough to see what has happened is many times the elephant in the room is racism. And you said the right thing. Our minds are colonized. Not only Black folks' minds, but white minds, also the minds of so many other different shades of color. And it's been infected by this disease of racism that clouds the judgment of people when they are looking at the same facts, but yet the color determines, oh, no, this is not a genuine revolution, or this is. And so you couldn't be more right on in your statement, and I thank you for that.
And thank you. And I just want to mention that Dave Welsh is a member of our East Bay chapter of Veterans for Peace, and
yes, indeed,
and very active in doing that. It's really good, and everybody's invited to join us in Veterans for Peace. So anyway, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So next up is Joseph, and then after that, I have a written question from Bonnie Weiss and then Marilyn. So Joseph.
Thank you very much. This is an issue that happened 10 years ago, and it reflected on some expatriates here about concerning Haitians or people of Haitian origin in the Dominican Republic. I think they were deprived of citizenship. Something happened, I forget. So maybe could you remind me and enlighten us about it?
Yes, and that has to do with relations of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And so back in, I believe it was in 2013, the Dominican Supreme Court took the racist decision, and it's racist. It's based on color prejudice, and it was to deny the rights of people of Haitian descent. Let's be frank, Black folks, people of African descent, whose parents were from Haiti originally, and had been living in the Dominican Republic or were born there from, I believe, from 1929 or 1927. So going back to that period, they, according to the Dominican Constitution, anyone born in the Dominican Republic would have Dominican citizenship. But they decided to go back to 1929 to say that anybody born from 1929 on of Haitian parentage would not be considered, had lost their Dominican citizenship. So this was met with a lot of protest. People were not fooled by the racist nature of this, though they may argue against it, but it's a fact. And it was clearly aimed, even though it didn't say Haitian per se, but it was clearly aimed at the Haitian community. And the reason and so Haitian, for example, there was this beautiful leader in the Dominican Republic, socialist leader back in the 70s and 80s, very popular 90s as well. The name escapes me right now, but he was such a powerful man, beautiful man. And every time he won the elections were taken from him. And one of the points that they used was his dark skin, but they wouldn't call him, they wouldn't say that, but they would say he's of Haitian descent, you see? So that was the code word for being Black. And so even though the Dominican people voted for him, the elections were stolen from him because he was a socialist, was declared socialist. And that was the case. So just a little bit of history, a little bit. There was slavery in the Dominican Republic. And at that time, it was a colony of Spain. Haiti, there was a rebellion there in the colony against Spain. And so they appealed to Haiti for support. And Haiti went in and supported the people who wanted the country in the Dominican Republic and kicked out the Spanish. So the two countries fused, became together. Haiti abolished slavery in the Dominican Republic. At that time, Haiti was also helping revolutionaries. Haiti had helped revolutionaries such as Simon Bolivar, who was fighting in South America before the show we were talking about it. And Simon Bolivar had fought the Spanish that defeated, landed in my hometown of Lecay, asking for support. And people welcomed him. And they gave him support, not only weapons, ships, but they also sent with him young Haitians who went just like what Cuba did with Southern Africa in terms of being in solidarity. Haiti did the same thing with Simon Bolivar. And he was again defeated, and the second time came to Jacmel, and to the city of Jacmel, and again, same thing, supported him, Haiti supported him, and many Haitians died in that struggle too. But he was successful the second time, and Haiti asked for one thing, the abolition of slavery. He said, how can I repay you? And Haiti said, everywhere you are successful, abolish slavery. That's the only payment we want. So Haiti's foreign policy was very much based on destroying this odious system of slavery. And that's what earned Haiti the enmity of all the enslaving powers at the time. The US, France, Britain, Spain, all of them. And that's why they coalesced, they formed a coalition to force Haiti to pay a ransom to France in 1825. But Haiti wouldn't let that stop it. And so Haitians continue to struggle. So now in what became the Dominican Republic, it's completely the country has an elite that is very racist and very racist. It sees itself as a white nation or want to be a white nation. And so anything that's Black or African, they try to, at the ideology, I'm not talking at the people's level, because the people of Haiti and the people of the Dominican Republic, they call themselves two wings of the same bird. And we have always had joint relations, good relations with the people of both countries. However, it's that elite-dominated racist, similar to the US, that's using skin color and racial prejudice to create division against the people so that they can continue to exploit both the people in the Dominican Republic and the people of Haiti. The elite in Haiti invest heavily in the Dominican Republic. They don't have any problem at all with the Dominican. The Dominicans have no problem with them because it's the same moneyed class that's in alliance. But they use that, the color prejudice, to have the people fight against each other so that they are not, they can continue to maintain their power, just like they do in the US. So that's my short answer to this. Oh, I want to add something very important. 1862, when the Dominicans really were determined to get independence, to get their freedom from Spain, because a number of them wanted, of this elite class had proposed independence for the Dominican Republic, but their view of independence was to turn the country over to the US, which wanted to restore slavery there. That was before the Civil War. And Haiti had pledged that no such thing would take place on the island anywhere. So Haiti didn't join the, Haiti fought against this elite in the Dominican Republic, which many of the Dominican patriots were fighting against. So in 1862, when there was a true movement for independence in the Dominican Republic, Haiti sent its troops at the request of the Dominican patriots to help them in their struggle, and they successfully kicked out the Spanish, and the Dominican Republic has been independent since, and the two countries have worked together, except you still have that elite, just like in the US, that uses color prejudice to dominate and create division among the people.
Thank you. And before I call on Marilyn, I wanted to read Bonnie Weiss's question. Bonnie doesn't have the technology right now to do it orally, but she asked, you mentioned about Papa Bush and Baby Bush, but you didn't mention anything about the Clintons, and they've been very instrumental in recent history in Haiti. And if you could tell us a little bit about the role of the Clintons in Haiti, we'd appreciate that.
Yes, present day, when I speak of US imperialism, it's shorthand for Clinton, because former President Bill Clinton has been at the forefront of this liberal, because there is a liberal face to this monstrous imperialist bone crushing that Haiti is experiencing right now. And in Haiti, the name Clinton is mud. Hillary Clinton was the person who actually, after there was a vote in Haiti, and between, that was the 2010 elections, and the US didn't like the outcome of it, and neither did the Haitian people, because the whole thing had been rigged from the beginning and what have you. But the US, the person that they wanted was a guy who was probably number 6. He shouldn't have even participated, been allowed to participate in the second round. But Hillary Clinton made a detour from her trip to the Middle East at the time, came to Haiti and forced this guy to be in the second round, which was also total force. So all around, it was a dance of the thieves and and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton imposed Martelly, just to put a name to him. Michel Martelly, who was one of the dictators, ruthless dictator, he formed the PHTK party while in office. The PHTK party, it means really the skinhead party. And the person who helped conduct this election, was part of it, is a guy by the name of it's an outfit called the Solar Group. The Solar Group is based in Spain, and they had participated in one of the fraudulent elections in Mexico as well. putting the right wing, I forgot the government that they put in there, and they were part of the John McCain election campaign. So you see the connections are very, very strong between the right wing in Haiti and the right wing, both in Mexico, and the Solar Group operates, Solar, S-O-L-A, they operate in different countries. So you can see the connections between the right wing, these right-wing groups, international or multinational connections there. So that's their work in this.
Thank you. Marilyn, if you could go, please.
Okay, hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Pierre. I want to just thank you for your presentation. I've been involved with the Haiti Action Committee since right after the coup of 2004. It's been really important and rewarding work. I've been to Haiti 4 times since then, and I can attest from everything I've observed, the people I've met, to their resilience, their ingenuity, their being very well informed about what's going on, not only in Haiti, but in the rest of the world. So definitely we need to support them. Just one added word about Clinton. You know, he was the one who was presiding over the debacle with the Haitian rice that ruined the Haitian local rice production. And interestingly, many years later, I think it was 2011, he shed a few crocodile tears saying, oh, well, gee, maybe that wasn't such a good idea, you know, but way too little too late. No, and people in Haiti, they don't like the Clintons. They, of course, don't like the Bushes. But I just also wanted to thank you, Pierre. Early on, you mentioned Paul Robeson. I think Bonnie Weiss, who asked the previous question, Bonnie Weiss has done a ton of work promoting the legacy of Paul Robeson. And so thank you for mentioning that he made an attempt in the 30s to ask the Soviet Union to work on this film project. More power to Paul Robeson. And it seems very typical that he would want to do something like that, that he would see the connection with Haiti. A question I have for you is, can you tell us a little bit about the phenomenon and the role of some of the so-called Marxist groups in Haiti, such as OPL and PAPDA, that claim to be there for the people and but have actually betrayed the people? Can you talk a little bit about the phenomenon, where it came from and where it stands now? Thank you.
Yes, definitely. One of the things that the US has always done, and it happens in several countries, is to use certain messengers who co-opt the language of the movement and are saying all the right things, so they're quoting Mao, Lenin, Che, Marx, Hegel, all those great folks. But in practice are doing the work of imperialism. And so in Haiti, it's been that way. It was certainly that way during the Papadoc years, when in Papadoc's cabinet, he had card-carrying members of the Communist Party. I believe they were the card-carrying members of the French Communist Party. And but these people were also imposing an ultra-right-wing regime on the people of Haiti. So it's something that we Haitians are very familiar with. So people are not impressed in Haiti, because in Haiti is where the rubber meets the road. People can judge you by your actions, not by your fancy French presentations and what have you. So what you have are people who have the means or finance internationally, who are able to travel, and who know French, English, and other languages. They have access to computers, to their generators. They can produce electricity at home, and they can be paid to travel to different conferences abroad and project an image of themselves as revolutionaries. But then inside the country, the people know what they do, you see? And so outside, that's one of the big problems that the movement in Haiti faces in terms of not being unable to find the solidarity that it needs to, that would help make the change occur much faster, because you have these agents of imperialism that are playing a game, who present themselves as gatekeepers with the knowledge of this, that, and the other, traveling everywhere, but not really connected with the people's movement on the ground in Haiti. People know each other. The place is only as big as the state of Maryland, and people know each other. By the time that before, and many times it's funny because people will tell me, well, I haven't read this anywhere. I say, well, take it from the experts, the Haitian people. They know who was at the US Embassy drinking champagne last night. They know, they can tell, they see. They know who was at the French Embassy having lunch and cavorting with the French ambassador who's really paying them so that they can betray their country. They know. And they talk to each other and they say, well, so-and-so, you can trust him or trust her. And so they usually prove to be correct. By the time a year later or so, months later, the rest of the movement outside of Haiti picks up on that, the damage has been done. So this is what's going on. And in the case of OPL, as you mentioned, but specific example, OPL had led a delegation in 1980. OPL is the Organization of People in Struggle. Many of them are from a Marxist, or I cannot speak to their affiliation, but they traditionally have been very highly respected throughout the Americas as an organization that's of leftist, strong leftist leanings and tendencies. But they were right there with Jesse Helms in 1998. I was horrified to see in 1998 that they were in the US. After meeting with Jesse Helms, there was a press conference in which they were making it clear that Lavalas was their common enemy and working with none other than Senator Jesse Helms. So back in during the elections of 2000, the International Republican Institute had organized all those conglomeration of leftist, quote unquote, groups in Haiti, very well known. And the ultra-right wing sweatshop owners organized them into a coalition called Convergence Démocratique, the Democratic Convergence, to go as opposed to Famille Lavalas in the elections of 2000. And they were soundly defeated by Famille Lavalas in these elections, which were recognized as truly fair, free, and democratic. Some very similar to what was happening in Venezuela, what we are seeing in Venezuela and what have you. So, but unfortunately, you had a number of people who, they had quite an apparatus, both funded by NED, NED, National Endowment for Democracy, which was also giving money to other organizations pretending to be left, that was writing as if they were the true representatives of the Haitian people. And you see, that's why we couldn't get enough solidarity and support to oppose the coup d'etat of 2004, which many of us knew was coming and were mobilizing to try to block. Many in the left were paralyzed by this propaganda, you see, instead of looking at the reality of what was happening on the ground by the Haitian people.
Thank you. And I see Alan Miller has his hand up.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, Pierre. I've seen reports in the news in the last few weeks of a push for United Nations troops and invasion of the island. And I was wondering if you could comment on that and what is the reasons for that? Why is that coming up now? And in your response to the last question, you spoke about the role of the NED in internal Haitian politics. Can you comment on that a little bit more, especially in relation to what's going on right now and the possibility of invasion? Thank you.
Yes, the Haitian people are solidly, both in Haiti and outside of Haiti, solidly against any United Nations. We call it an expansion of the UN intervention in Haiti. Why we stress an expansion? Because since February 29, 2004, when President Aristide was kidnapped by those forces of France, the US and Canada, they were on advance. It was under a UN resolution, a UN mandate that they were there to legitimize the fait accompli, something that they had done already. It was to legitimize their presence. So this was later expanded into what they called MINUSTAH, which Brazil under Lula led troops of the United Nations to come and reinforce that advanced group that really continued to impose the coup d'etat of Haiti and conducted all those massacres. So what we are seeing, and we call it, the Haitian people have seen this intervention and what it has done after an 18-year occupation, 18 plus years of occupation. People have seen that all they have done is destroy the country. And at this stage, very similar to 1915, this is a time when the massive resistance of the grassroots population is national, is nationwide, is determined. It's dealing with the murderous police force and the various paramilitary death squads. And it's funny how they call them gangs. These are not gangs. Gangs, it's a clever use of the term to mask what's happening. Gangs are mostly outlaws. When people think of gangs in the US, you think of outlaws at war with the government or against the population, but at war with the government. But in Haiti, those gangs are paramilitary death squads organized by the Haitian government, financed by them, by various ministers. This is not just me saying it. This is in various literature. And they themselves will tell you, the so-called gang leaders, I prefer to call them death squads, they are the ones who tell you that they got their weapons from the US or from President Martelly, from Jovenel Moïse, and from various big-time political appointees of the Haitian government. And they tell you straight, that's what they gave them, those weapons and those ammunition. Because even Haiti is tightly controlled. So there is no way that these weapons could be coming into Haiti and through the border with the Dominican Republic unless somebody turns a blind eye to it. So that's what's going on. And so what we are seeing is, as a result of this massive uprising of the people of Haiti, there is a massive campaign of mental decolonization taking place, where people are studying the source of their misery, why things are the way they are, and why is the system so entrenched. So people are very aware throughout Haiti. So it's been an ongoing national uprising for many months now to uproot the system, to change the system entirely. So the system is very shaky. Even though it's powerful, it's killing, it's a killing machine, but the determination of the people is not abated. People are on the move. And so you are seeing this. That's why Antonio Guterres has made this call for robust police force and has directed the dictator Ariel Henry to make that plea to the UN to send to expand the intervention, the US by having an expanded intervention with boots on the ground, meaning nothing but killers, to massacre more Haitian people, same as they did right in the aftermath of the coup d'etat of 2004. So that's what's happening. Did I miss part of your question, Marilyn, or did I answer it fully?
Yeah, just so basically in summary, it sounds like what you're saying is that these calls are in response to the potential, the uprising that's been taking place. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. They want to make sure that they can have more reinforcements for the police and their gangs and their paramilitary death squads, so they can really quash any chance of success of a people's movement being successful in overturning this rotten, odious system.
Is the NED involved in any of these in this call? What sort of activities are they engaged in currently?
Well, the NED, one of the things I would have to do a FOIA, but I'll leave it to the journalist. But nothing that happens, the NED is very entrenched. Monies from the NED is very entrenched in everything in Haiti. It's steady, it's a constant flow. It never stops. So what we have been seeing in the country, it's been reported that many of the radio stations, Haiti has hundreds of radio stations, but most of them, I don't want to say all, but according to various activists at the grassroots level, many, if not most of them, are receiving support from the various embassies from the European Union, from NGOs, and all of them, most of them, again, receive their monies from there. They make no secret of it. But unless someone who's a journalist do a FOIA or something like that, to expose it. But people in Haiti know it and see it, and they know what's going on. So yeah, the NED has been involved, has a long history of involvement. And in the 2000 elections, not only you had the International Republican Institute, but you also had their equivalent from the Democratic Party was also involved in the stolen elections and these elections that are taking place right now. Well, they were trying to steal these elections in 2000, which Famille Laval successfully and the people of Haiti fought against. And despite their attempts to destroy these elections were financed by the Haitian people, and they were successfully carried out, expressing the will of the Haitian people. Since that time, every election since then has been totally fraudulent, as organized by the US, the UN, and their forces, both International Republican Institute and on the Democratic side as well, Democratic Party side as well. So with NED money. So anywhere you see the US, there is NED money involved.
Okay, thank you. Normally we try to end the formal part of the program about 12:30. I see we have two more questions from Jean and from Richard. So let's hear from them, and then Pierre, if you wanted to make like a final statement after that would be good too.
May I make a request before answering? There is a video I'd like people to see. It's a 2-minute video, and it will let people know what the Haitian people are asking for right now, so that you have an idea of what people are asking for right now.
Thank you.
So
Let's show the video right now. Alan, could you cue that up for us, please?
Famille Laval's political organization fully supports the people of Haiti who say the system is totally broken. Our people are calling for an executive and a government that guarantees public safety. Why public safety? It is clear that all three branches of government have collapsed. The order of the day is corruption, organized crime, impunity, theft, plunder, social exclusion, miserable living conditions, and desperation. The executive, legislative, and judiciary have come together as one to crush the Haitian people. People have absolutely no trust in this government. Famille Laval published a document titled Crisis and Solution on November 15, 2018. We stated that after the resignation of Jovenel Moïse, the indicted president, who was imposed after the 2016 electoral coup d'etat, there will have to be a new executive and a government of public safety to make the transition. Which individuals will lead the transition? They will be people who are honest and credible. They are in the country. People who believe in transparency, in the struggle against social exclusion, corruption. People who believe in a different form of governance. These will restore trust between people and the state. Let us look at some of the major steps that the transition to government will have to take. Improve the living conditions of the population through an efficient management of state resources. Create proper conditions for the legal case regarding Petrocaribe funds. Organize a real national dialogue. Revise the electoral law in order to organize a credible election in the country. Organize a constitutional committee. The transition will lay the foundation for the new system that all Haitians aspire to. That is a system based on social justice, transparency, and participation, where there will be no more social exclusion. We will be investing in people so that everyone can live as a human being, because every person is a human being. As President Aristide always says, if we don't safeguard our dignity, we will lose it. Alone we are weak. Together we are strong. All together we are Lavalas.
Thank you, Alan, for showing that.
Thank you.
So maybe we'll just have the two more questions and then give you an opportunity to sum up if you'd like. So Jean and then Richard.
Okay, great. And this is really great. And I really appreciate all this, but I just had one note and a question. First of all, when we talk about Papa Bush and Baby Bush, let's not forget Grandpa Bush, Prescott Bush, who tried to organize the first fascist, explicitly fascist coup in the United States back in the 1930s, for which he was never tried. So he continued to be Senator Bush. So keep that in mind. But on the labor, I think many of us are labor activists and very concerned with the condition of US labor. But we know that the AFL-CIO does have a international arm, which has earned the epithet, I think, AFL-CIA. And so yeah, I just wonder if you want to comment on, I don't know if you have or I missed it, but on the role of the AFL-CIA in Haiti.
Yes, and I had met over the course of my visits there, going way back, I've been going, but focusing on labor back in 1990, I'd met with a number of labor activists and since that time too. And all of them have a very poor, they not just poor, man, they just despise the AFL-CIO, some of the labor activists, but they have money. There is the state apparatus that represses people. And so they have powerful forces. This is a powerful force for coercion and corruption as well. So what you have at different times, you have people who one day will be looking good and being very labor. What I mean by that, being in touch with the rank and file, but then the very next time you see them, they've been they have sold out the movement. And so this is quite common in Haiti. This is something that's very common, I'm sure, in other places, but in Haiti, personally, I've seen that personally. So it's the rank and file keeps being sold down river, and so that's one thing that it's them telling me this, and from what I've seen, so we are seeing their imprint all over this thing. There is no reason why the Haitian workers, when they took to the streets recently, demanding $15 a day, $15 a day, from a measly $3.50 or $4 a day. And sometimes the workday extends to 10 hours. You see, they have different subterfuge to minimize the amount that they pay the workers, either by making you do piecework or what have you. So there is no reason why there shouldn't have been a robust movement. At different times, it flares up, but next thing you know, there is some deal being cut, and plus there is also the threat of people disappearing and being murdered and what have you. Especially these days with the rise in kidnappings, they can make it appear as if it's common crime, but behind those, it's not really common crime, because those death squads, those gangs work with the status quo and eliminate a number of activists, and then they and it goes on. So that's the kind of war against the people that's taking place on the ground today.
Thank you. Richard, would you like to ask a question?
Yeah, I was just going to follow up along the same lines and just mention that first off, that there are basically 4 organizations that the NED funds. There, one for the Republican Party, one for the Democratic Party, one for the Chamber of Commerce, or otherwise known as the Chamber of Concrete, and the other one for the AFL-CIA, as Gene noted. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that, in large measure, what the NED does, it seems to me, is that they fund so-called independent journalists to produce on the scenes videos that can then come back to influence what goes on here in the United States. So in large measure, the NED isn't trying to convince the Haitians; it's trying to convince people back here of what's going on. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised nobody has challenged the constitutionality of the NED and its method of funding. Thank you.
I'm glad that you mentioned about the journalists, because this is an aspect I was forgetting. In Haiti, they are known as marchands micro. That means vendors of microphone or vendors of airtime. And basically, they are at the beck and call of not only are they funded through various embassies or NGOs to continue their work of disinformation, but they are also, people have nothing but contempt for them, because they know who they are. They know that they are not doing the people's work of information. And so people have nothing but contempt. And exactly what you described, that's what they are doing.
But over here, they're received as on the scene, independent and independentistas. They're actually, the white helmets, for example. So yeah.
You're correct.
Okay, well, thank you. So Pierre, if you'd like, this would be an opportunity to kind of sum up and sort of give us some of the take-home messages or whatever you might want to say.
Yes, thank you very much to the Institute. I really appreciate this information, to have had this exchange with you. One thing I want to emphasize, and this is a time when disinformation is very, very high. A campaign of disinformation. Because with disinformation, what you do is you prevent people from knowing the truth. Then people throw up their hands and say, oh, Haiti is a basket case, and it paralyzes folks. So the thing is, know that the people, there is an organization in Haiti, there are grassroots organizations. Famille Lavalas political organization is one organization that the people of Haiti have not only that came from them, it's not imposed from above, it came from below. So President Aristide is a product of this grassroots movement. And that's why both times when he ran for office, people drafted him. He didn't have to go out there and campaign. In the words of a Haitian asylum seeker, he said, no, Aristide didn't have to campaign. Campaign is for people who people don't know. But we just told people where to vote and how, what the mechanism of the voting structure is, so their ballots could count. But he didn't have to campaign. So in other words, that's an explanation of where the movement is. So people really, that's who they are in line with generally in Haiti, in the movement. And so you have to be careful with people who have all the leftist phraseology, leftist language, and what have you, because people in Haiti do not trust many of these people. Many of these people, they have zero popularity in Haiti. Nobody knows them, or they may know their name, but they call them bluffers. They are known as bluffers. And people know that people call their bluff on the ground. Outside of Haiti, they're able to connect with people who've been to the same schools they've gone, with people who speak English and Spanish and what have you, and can connect with their, with them in terms of the language ideology or the ideological language. So I want to guard against that. Also, thank you. The solidarity is needed. We don't want any expanded intervention in Haiti. The US occupation has been terrible for the country. Haitians are united in saying, get out, stay away from Haiti, and let us unite, let the Haitians on the ground deal with the situation. But we need your solidarity, because these forces are being funded by this consortium of international organizations against an impoverished and unarmed population. When they have the media with them, they have the forces of terror in their hands, and despite this campaign, the unarmed Haitians are determined to overturn that system. So let's stand in solidarity with them, and contact us at HaitiSolidarity.net. We're also on Facebook, Haiti Action Committee on Facebook, for people who want to make a financial contribution to support the grassroots movement, HaitiEmergencyRelief.org. And a good source of information, in addition to the ones I mentioned, is Kevin Pina's Haiti Info Page, which is on on Twitter.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for participating, and have a good day. Thank you very much.
Institute for the Critical Study of Society at the Nebel Proctor Marxist Library receives no corporate funding, nor do we have any paid staff. We rely on the support of working class folks that share our commitment to the socialist legacy of Karl Marx. We continue to need funds to meet necessary expenses. Since we can no longer pass the hat at our in-person forums, please send contributions to our treasurer, either online via PayPal or by check. The PayPal ID is ICSS Sunday, SUNDAY, @yahoo.com, and the name is Richard Fallenbaum. And checks may be made out to Richard Fallenbaum and sent to him at 1225 Nielsen Street, Berkeley, California, 94706. Fallenbaum is spelled Fallenbaum. To donate directly to the Marxist Library, send a check to the Nebel Proctor Marxist Library at 6501 Telegraph Avenue, Oakland, California, 94609, or directly or donate online at www.paypal.me/npml. For information, write to npml@marxistlibr.org, and the website is marxistlibr.org.